Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's deck profile. I'm gonna be showcasing you guys my Go Second Plunder Patrol list, in which I got third place. The tournament was 48 players, 5 rounds in Swiss, and then top 8. So I finished third ultimately, and I'll show you guys like the prize support pretty soon. Shout outs to Brian Hayward. He funded a lot of these prize support just so we can give back to the community. Hosted a free tournament to get more people interested in Rogue, especially because current format can be a little dry in the current environment, and no one likes it when Needle Fiber resolves, to be quite frank. But without further ado, guys, we're gonna jump right into the profile. So first off, we play 3 Ash, 3 Ogre. I think these are the best hand traps in the Rogue format. So Ash just is generically good against any deck, like Rogue decks. So what I mean by that is like it's good against like the Danger deck or the Danger OTK deck, basically just summoning a lot of big monsters, making rank 8 packages, because you can like Ash their desires. And then it's really good in the Mirror because you can Ash any of like the Plunder extra deck monsters. It's pretty good in Zoo because you can like it's like okay against Zoo actually, because like the only real good thing to hit is like the desires. And then in Madolche, it's like pretty good because Ash against, like, let's say if they open Angeli is really powerful. And then of course you have Ghost Ogre. So Ghost Ogre is a card that's like really good in the Rogue format or really bad against certain matchups. So for example, against like the Zoo deck, it's really strong to hit like the Tiger Mortar. It's really strong to hit like Dryden, etc. The way they play around it is that they would make Shakanine and then just like play around the Ogre that way. But most of the time, if they don't play around it, you get punished by Ogre really badly. Also, Ogre is really good in the Mirror, being able to hit the field spell. It's good against generators, like I said before, hitting the field spell. So Ghost Ogre is really strong. Not much to say about it. Most of the decks, obviously in the current format, can play around Ogre, but in the Rogue deck, they don't have the same type of recovery play. And then you max out of every Plunder monster. You play 3 of every single one. That's just consistency wise. You need to see a Plunder monster to play. I play 2 of the equip spell because it's searchable off the field spell. And because like if you hard draw it, it's like not that great unless you hard draw it with a monster. So I don't want to brick on this. I usually want to search it off of shipping. I play 1 of the fusion spell because the fusion spell is like pretty bricky if you don't open up at least 2 Plunder monsters with it. So the chance of you opening up 2 Plunder monsters with it is like not the highest. And so like I just kind of want to have 1 of in the deck, just as like if I do hard draw it, it's like not the worst. I can always hit it off of like pitch it off of the field spell. But then I play 3 of the field spell. I think like one of the things I would cut about this list is playing the extra terraforming for the 4th field spell. But the only reason why I didn't do that was because I wanted to put in space for like double Cosmic Cyclone. And originally I've had 1 Cosmic Cyclone in the main deck, but then it just felt awkward to play 1 Cosmic, 1 terraforming. So I cut out the terraforming to have at least 2 Cosmics or at least 5 cards to out like back row decks like Zodiacs. And I figured like Cosmic Cyclone and Even Mesh were the best way. I also like Cosmic Cyclone because like in the Rogue format, like I've played against a lot of people who like would play a lot of floodgates, and so Cosmic Cyclone is really good for like hitting those floodgates, such as there can only be 1, goes in match, etc. You play Triple Desires. I think this is like one of the best cards in the deck. Desires is really good because it gives you 2 more cards, and most of the time whatever you banish doesn't actually matter. So like Desires is really good for that. Then you play Plunder Patroll Booty. This card is really good, but because the list is blinding second, you don't really want to maximize on this card. I only played 1 just because it's searchable, and that's pretty much it. Booty is really good. I actually side the second one because against matchups like Zodiacs or against matchup like Madolches, all their monsters are Earth, so it's really hard for you to get the correct attribute in for your Plunder monsters to really shine. So that's why Booty is really good, and that's why I sided it, just because like against the Earth matchups or like against matchups that don't have attributes for Plunders, you kind of want to have to like cheat it with Booty. Then I play is essentially like all the colors of the Kaijus for all the extra deck monsters. So I play Light for Liss, I play Radiant for Morik, I play Dogaran for Bran, and then I play Gamma Seal for the Blackbeard. So that's like basically 1 of every single color, just to like kind of like cheat it. Like tutor out your extra deck plays. It's also really nice because you playing the Kaijus and maining going second means that you can play Kaiju Slumber. Kaiju Slumber is like really insane in Rogue because it's basically Dark Hole, but it's Dark Hole that gets you 2 monsters on the board, and it forces it out like 2 Kaijus, which means that you guarantee whatever attribute you need to have your Plunder cards resolving. So that's why like the Slumber is like really good for that. Like I said, it's a Dark Hole while getting you the attributes you need. And in a format like Rogue, the Kaiju Slumber is really powerful, just because a lot of decks don't have the recovery play for it. The Kaijus itself is also really good because against like the Goki matchup, like they play power load Ogre, you can just Kaiju that. Against the Mirror, you can actually just hard Kaiju their Blackbeard because they never shotgun the Blackbeard, and also they cannot shotgun the Blackbeard. So the Kaiju is really good for that. And then yeah, then you play 2 Cosmic Cyclone and 3 Evenly Match. So Cosmic Cyclone, like I explained before, it's for the trap decks, and then Evenly Match is for the trap decks. It's also generically really good against any deck. If you draw a Kaiju plus Evenly, like you win against most combo decks. They only end up on 1 trap negate most of the time. So that's really strong. And then we'll go right into like the extra deck. So in terms of the extra deck, you play triple list just because if in the grind game you summon list quite a lot. And list has an insane effect where you can summon from the spell and trap zone, so you want to play a lot of this card. The really cool thing about the hand trap count is that you'll notice that Ash and Ogre are like light and fire. So Emblem lets you cheat out any card from your extra deck if you control any monster on the field or the graveyard. So including your own graveyard. So if you have an Ogre in your graveyard, especially going second, you might have Ogred your opponent. You can then go Emblem and then make lists even though they don't control any light monsters. So that's like a really cool interaction. The other interaction with Emblem is I actually played the Mirror, and I'll go into my matchups later at the end of the video, and how I did in Swiss, etc. But I just want to showcase the profile first. And then you play 1 Dragdai. Dragdai is really good. It's just because essentially like the 2 tuners in the decks are like Whitebeard and then Golden Hair, and so those 2 cards lets you actually make Dragdai, and that's like a spell and trap negate. That's really good because like against like trap decks, like Trap Tricks for example, Dragdai is like really hard for the opponent to out sometimes. And B, to continuously recur and negate your opponent's traps is really powerful, and spells too. You play 2 Bran. It's a card you least summon. I just didn't expect that many trap decks, but Bran is there just because it boosts all your monsters by 500, and it's how you actually push for game when they least expect it, and it makes all your monsters pretty big. And then you play the White Aura Whale. Not a lot of people know about this card, but essentially what it does is it's basically a Raigeki. I like this because sometimes the way you push for game is you would actually make the White Aura Whale. You would blow up all their monsters, and then this gains 2 attacks on each monsters, and it does piercing. So even if they have monsters in defense mode, you'll wipe all their main monster zones and then start piercing all their monsters, and it's really powerful for that. But also, like, if they somehow did get rid of the White Whale, it actually can reborn itself. All you have to do is banish any other water monster from the graveyard. So this card is actually really annoying for like the rogue decks to out, in my opinion. So that's why I played White Aura, and it's a really strong tech card. Then I played Daigusa Emerald. This is to recycle your resources in the grind game. I played 3 more because it's a dark and it's one of the best, I think, the card in your extra deck. The banishing effect, basically like an ABC Buster effect, is really powerful, and banishing your opponent's resources is so strong. Of course, getting that is even crazier. Then you play with Blackbeard. It's like one of the best ones in the extra deck, to be honest. Like being able to like draw cards and then tutor out any card in your extra deck is just so powerful. There's not much to say about this. You play the one of Amaraj just because sometimes you want to essentially like Amaraj's Golden Hair, just so that you can trigger his hair's effect from the graveyard to discard. And it has like really cool interaction where it actually Amaraj actually protects you from getting ogred. So you would actually make Amaraj just so that like your cards can't get ogred. So that's really powerful as well. In terms of the side deck, I expected a lot of Necros because I was playtesting and everyone was seeing how powerful the deck was. And I was also expecting Dragon Maid. So Retaliating Sea is really broken because if they activate any Necros, like Ritual Spell, you can just chain Retaliating Sea and it banishes all their resources. And against like the Dragon Maid matchup, the pure Dragon Maid deck, the thing with Dragon Maid is like their deck doesn't really do anything except for the Fusion Monster. So the Fusion Monster is what you want to make sure you Retaliating Sea on, just so that they don't recur back their resources. Because the thing with the spell is they only play one of the fusion spell, and once you DD the fusion spell, they have no way to recover it. So that's like kind of like the main reason why. Then you play double Lightning Storm, and then 1 Cosmic. So I decided to prioritize the Cosmic over the Lightning Storm because I like the fact to be able to like kind of like target removal over Lightning Storm in this situation, because I already had like the Kaiju Slumber anyways for like board wiping the monsters. And so I was never activating Lightning Storm to resolve the monster effect anyways. I was kind of trying to hit with the back row, and I felt like I had enough back row disruption if I had to play against a back row deck like Trap Trick. Then I played 1 Booty. Like I said, I decided to sin against like harder matchups where having 2 would be more beneficial. Then I played double anti-spell fragrance. This was essentially for like the Necros deck, but it was also like really good against like any other deck that requires like spells to like go off. And so I just wanted to like tech in like floodgates, like, because if I first of all, I lost all my dice rolls all the way to like 3rd place. I haven't won a single one the whole tournament, and they all made me go first. So you probably think like, oh, it's a go second deck that loses all dice rolls. That's kind of lit. But no, every deck I've played made me go first. So it was kind of sickening. But the whole idea was that if I were to go second game 1 and essentially like or win RPS blind second, I wanted to have a lot of cards to side in going first. And so like that's where you kind of see like the 3 judgment, the 3 strike, and then the anti-spell. The anti-spell being also extra powerful because it stops Lightning Storm, which a lot of rogue decks are siding in because it's a really strong blowout cards. So like anti-spell was just like really good. So guys, in terms of like my matchup, round 1, I got a match win because my opponent just didn't show up or woke up in time. Round 2, I played the Plunder Mirror. So the way you beat the mirror is with Emblem. So essentially, he made me go first because he's playing go second, and I just passed on an empty board. I had no idea what he was playing. I just had hand traps, so I was like, I felt safe. And so I think he made Blackbeard attack and then pass. So you know what I did during my turn? I went Emblem. I equipped it to his Blackbeard and then cheated out my own Blackbeard, and then I just started breaking apart his board. And then I actually OTK'd him that same turn. And I actually play around Nibiru too, just because I had the fusion spell, so I hard made my list and then just negated Nibiru and just went for game. So that was like really insane. Or maybe that was another game. And then round 3, that matchup was also 2-0. So that matchup wasn't really too bad. He made me go first, but I kind of just passed. And then he kind of like passed back because, hey, he's playing Unchained. I actually passed on a Cosmic Cyclone set, and it was really crucial why I did that, because he essentially went like Abomination, the spell card to search the trap, set the trap, and I knew right after he set the trap he had Arua, so he activated Arua, and then I chained Cosmic Cyclone to the set, which essentially means that Arua has to destroy the card it targeted, aka the set card, in order to summon itself. So by doing that, I essentially stopped him from using Arua effect, and he just went normal summon Arua pass, and then after that, the turn after, I just killed him. And then game 2 was essentially, I knew he was going to make me go first, so I sided in Judgment, Strike, Anti-Spell, and a bunch of all the cards, just because I knew he's going to play cards like Dark Hole, because it's really good in his deck, and Lightning Storm. So, I mean, that matchup was also pretty good. I just normal summoned Redbeard, didn't commit too much to the board game 1, and that just morked. I just essentially kept using Mork on his monsters, and it just went for game from there. Round 4, I played against Muskets, go second Muskets, lost RPS again, went first, passed on an empty board again, just because I'm like, yo, what rogue deck really OTKs me? And then he essentially passed back to me, and then I essentially just went and OTK'd him, and I had no idea what he was playing. He had no hand traps. He had Nibiru, but like I said, I played through the Nibiru with the list. And then game 2, he is like essentially just dominated me. He had way too many resources, Resolve Max. He drew like Monster Reborn as well, so it was way too much. And then game 3, it was like pretty grindy, but I was able to just like come out on the end. And then round 5, I played against Witchcrafters, so I lost that match. So that was my only loss in Swiss before Top Cut. And essentially, I was honestly trying to lose, first of all, just because I didn't really care. I was just wanted to scout out what deck he was playing. But also because like around, I guess, game 2, I misplayed by not negating one of the spells that makes it so that I can't respond to any of his monster effects. And then in top 8, so my overall record in Swiss was X1. And then in top 8, I played against what deck was he playing? Oh, so I think the guy was playing Unchained, but then he essentially forfeited to me, like he just like scooped. And then top 4, I lost to Madolches, and he ended up winning the entire event. And then for 3rd, 4th place, I played against Polly. He was playing Zodiacs, and I won that. So, yeah, overall, it was a really good tournament. I had a really good time. I really enjoyed Plunder Patrols. This list, I don't recommend you play this exact list in, like, I guess, the current format. But I do like it for the Rogue format. I think it's really good. I think it could potentially be good in, like, the current format as well. But you probably have to replace the Ogres with, like, more impactful hand traps, especially against, like, the Needle Fibers. But I do think like the Kaijus are really cool, like just because they cheated you out attributes based on what you need. I really enjoyed the theory with this variant, and so if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider giving this a like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you guys haven't already, please go check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/pack_official_tg. I play tournaments and stream like decks like this live all the time. I usually also build decks like this live on stream. So you can see, I guess, my thought process as I go about this deck building process. But overall, guys, thank you so much for your support. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.